All right, all right. Good week. Good morning. Um, how you guys doing? Um, I told you one day you wake up, this fucking thing is gonna be straight down. Not that this is the one, but it's got the potential. Um, so what's going on in the markets? Well, you know, uh, reality is hitting, maybe. You know, I don't know exactly um, what they're thinking that they didn't know Friday. Did they think the stimulus was going to be more than 900? I kept telling them it's going to be 900. Did they think that buying back stock for banks is going to make the vaccine, not the vaccine, the virus go away? Did they think the virus would just magically go away? Um, it's kind of strange, right? It's kind of strange the way the markets behave. Buy the rumor, sell the news. That's what seems to be going. All right, so big, huge down moves. UK, 70% more infectious. We talked about that already. We knew that. Um, it kind of makes you wonder why the Fed would allow the banks to buy back stock, and when we're not in the clear, right? There's not reducing hospitalizations, deaths, right? Infections. Um, I don't know what they're thinking, honestly. One day they're telling you, oh, the risks to the downside to the economy. And then the next day, yeah, yeah, it's okay. Go buy stocks. Buy your own stocks, no problem. And then we end up with some kind of currency, not currency, banking crisis as this thing continues to unfold. Very strange how these people think. Uh, anyway, all right, let's get to the market open. Big drop, limp tick, 1, 2, 3 up. So this is the one. Okay, this is the two. This is the three. We're going to expect some kind of a reversal. I'm going to mark it. Now the danger with this one is that when we put the profile on, it's a big drop, it's a quick drop, that it's in open waters right now, right? From this drop. So this thing can run. Little bit of volume right in here. Let me move this over a little bit. Okay, a little bit of volume right in here, maybe about 12,676. We're going to test to see how strong this is. If it holds, if it doesn't hold, then we're going right back down. Now the market's opened up. Dow Jones down zero point 0.9, S&P down 1.4, Nasdaq down 0.9, small caps down 1.4, and the fangs are holding. The fangs are 0.25, so that's not well, at least for now. I don't know if it's open. Yeah, it's 0.18. So they don't seem to be worried about it too much. They don't seem to be worried about it. UK is down 2.39, understandably. Germany's down even more, 3%. Denmark, 1%. The world stock market index is down 2.2%. Now remember, this is all in the context. Airlines are down 4%. This is all in the context of a VIX that is rising, right? And we talked about this. Remember this? Remember how we talked about that this is still a rounding bottom and look for more upside? Magic, right? Magic. Now let's see how much this is going to run. Um, is it going to be one of these, previous kind of moves? Is it going to be much higher? Because then that's game over, right? Or is it going to be a wimpy little thing? I have to assume that we're going to get at least to the green area in the 40s at some point. That's the assumption. It's going to need a little bit of time. It's going to need a little bit of time. People are still trying to digest this shit. You know what I mean? So I don't want to really go through the markets as I usually do right now. I just want to pay attention to what the Nasdaq is going to be doing for a little bit. Let it settle down. Let it do what it's got to do. Plus, I'm still trying to wake up. Just give me one moment. One more moment. Plus, let this thing settle down. All right, Jets jumped about 1%. They're now down 3.17%. A little bit of an improvement. All right. So what's going on here now is that we broke this channel clearly. What I was saying all last week is we broke out. We have to hold above the previous high, um, create some kind of consolidation, and then push higher, right? And that's not what happened. Um, we had a test of it, right in here. We had a nice little test when it came back, and then it just popped right into the close, opened up, and then started to fall apart. Now it's trying to climb up above it again. This is definitely an M pattern. I don't think anybody can, argue that. This is definitely an M pattern, and it's happening at the top, at the previous high, and it looks like we're going to be going down, right? But we're still within this structure right in here. we're still holding. Maybe perhaps I can expand this a little bit. All right, but we're way far away from this area here. So that's a big old gap. That's negative. Okay, that's a subtle negative right in here. Um, Again, it's still very early. It's only 9 minutes into trading. Let's see if we can get above for the bulls, and then it would negate the end pattern. Now, if you measure the previous pops, so from this high to this high, it was only about 1.34%. From this high to this one was about 2%, and from this high to this one, about 1%, right? And then what typically happens, given history, is it starts to fall. This one is a lot sharper, of course. This one is sharp, and this one is sharp. So I don't think this is going to hold based on this analysis. Okay, I don't think this is going to hold. I think this structure is going to fail. Okay, the VIX is backing it up for sure. A little bit of time has gone by. There's going to be some settling in. So let's start going through the market really quickly because I want to stay focused on the NASDAQ. Equal weighted S&P has definitely fallen back into structure. From failed moves comes fast moves. Dividend weighted S&P has just collapsed. Okay. And this was setting up for a nice little cup and handle, right? Right in here to take off, and then boom, failed. So this is a wave 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's see if it can stabilize in here, perhaps. Maybe a little bit more upside, but I don't think so right now. Uh, we'll see. The other thing I'm looking at here is that this is a lower high. Right? This is textbook lower high for the next move down for a wave 3. Okay. I mean, little projecting here, but keep that in mind. VIX we talked about already. New York Stock Exchange try to break out. Now it's falling back in, and it's got to hold at least above the previous highs. So let's see if it can do that today. Dow Jones, remember this wedgie pattern? We said this one has to correct at some point. Well, there it is, breaking. It's coming back, trying to test the trend line, trying to hold it. S&P broke it. Okay, it's a pretty big drop, breaking structure. Way below the point of control from the previous low. Let's take this previous low here. Yeah, it's not even close. How about from the high? Yeah, point of control is all the way at the top. NASDAQ we already talked about. Let's see what this is doing. All right. All right. Has this hooked enough? I want to see a little bit more. It probably has. It just, yeah, I mean, it's halfway down, right? So we're going to validate the structure now. This is a bearish structure. So you got your compass, which is the thrust move down. You got your 1, 2, 3 now. This is a valid structure, which means it's a bear flag. It's going to do the opposite of what it's doing right now. So this is a nice little short setup. Okay. Small caps. Broke this structure. No doubt about it. This needed to break. It needed to correct. Coming back, it's testing this area, right? It's a break, test, go is what it looks like it wants to do. Okay. And that's in the context of this bigger structure here, which we can now validate, which means now that this structure is going to end up being bearish, which means eventually this is going to break. Okay. So you saw that, NASDAQ was the leader, then it was the small caps, and now everything is starting to fall apart. The VIX is starting to rise. They got the stimulus, so we can't play the stimulus card anymore. We got the 2 vaccines, so you can't play the vaccines. So what happens now is the expectations, like we've been talking about for 3 weeks now or more, expectations are very, very high. And when they're very high, you can only disappoint. You can't, you know what I mean? Transportations for now is holding. IPOs double topping with a lower high right here. Possibly it will break the structure. The FANGs are actually doing really good. They're holding. They're holding. They're up 0.15%. They're holding. So let's see if these are going to hold, because this could possibly hold the whole entire market up. Europe got destroyed straight down. It's now down 3.37%. Not good. UK straight down, testing support. Broke it. It did break it. Just give me 1 second. Germany's down 3%. Broke this structure. If you expand the structure, then it looks like a megaphone. It's confusion. And look where it's happening, right? Right at the previous high, right at the head test. This area. Okay. So let's see how much further this is going to go. Denmark, not too bad, down 1.27%. World Stock Market Index is down 2%, but it definitely did break this structure. So there's damage. There's definitely damage done. Jets trying to get back into the structure. Now we were waiting for Jets to kind of push higher, because this looked like a tight bull flag to the upside. And now it's going incredibly bearish. So that's not good. And I think now we can actually validate this structure. There's enough of a hook, it's in the middle, for further downside. So now this is what you got in the airlines. Your compass is this, right? Now you got the 1, 2, 3 up. The structure is valid. So next move is down. My little index collapsing. China back down. Expect this to break. We've had this here for a while, and we know this structure needs to correct, and we also know that there's a gap up here, right? It's a subtlety. It's not enough strength to make it to the top of the channel. So look for downside. CQQ is starting to break through time. With the markets going down, this one now becomes an iffy, right? You're not going to look for much more upside if the whole market starts to go. This is going to suffer. It'll probably fall a lot less than the rest of the market, but better not to be involved in that. Again, give it some time. Nifty 50 big fucking move down 3%. Japan was supposed to break out, didn't. Broke the structure instead. Taiwan sideways. Kospi, which is Korea, still holding. Big move down in Saudi. And again, we were looking for upside on that one. Australia is broken down. Brazil. Everything is breaking. Everything is breaking. Emerging markets. BRICS. All the way down here. You can't see it probably. There it is. Broken. Right. This again was looking like it wanted to push higher, right? It's been testing that area for a while. Real estate pulling back. Failed move. Fast move in the opposite direction. Financials, everybody was all hard on about it because the stock buybacks is still testing the previous high. Pure Bank and ETF has actually broken the structure. They better start buying back stock quickly. Oil, failed move, fast move in the opposite direction. Right? See it? Boom. You don't even have a time to pull the trigger. Gold, big pop, then back to the middle. Let's see what's going to happen here. It still has a bullish setup. Perhaps some of the people that are buying it for fear uh, might push it a little bit higher. Let's see. Silver had a nice little pop. It was up as much as 4.3%. Okay, it has broken out. It's holding. Again, uh, if the fear thing comes in, it should push higher. Overall commodities are pulling back. All right. So now we end up with kind of this structure here. Which is a rising wedgie looking thing. But again, you have that support right down here. So even if it comes down, you're still going to look for upside. Okay. I'll just quickly go through these just for my... Soybeans keeps pushing higher. No, that's interesting. That's interesting. Bitcoin starting to correct, and we talked about that, right? If it starts to go below this pattern here, we'll probably be in for a little deeper correction. Okay, so just wait a little bit on adding to Bitcoin. Ethereum pulling back, Ripple, dollar. All right, so this is confirmation. This is what we talked about before also. Dollar up, markets down. Right, so here we are. Where is it? Why isn't it here? Ah, there it is. Okay, so you have the dollar went up, markets down. It's like fucking magic, right? VIX is up. We talked about that. So that's all confirmation. Trend lines breaking all over the place. US dollar Japan continues lower. Euro USD bounced. The pound is annoying me a little bit, to be honest with you. It's still holding a higher low, but if this comes much lower, it's going to be a stop out. We were looking for this one to break. Okay. So if this breaks, then this is going to break. Then you get a nice little run. And there's that follow through that we talked about last week. This was corrective. This needed to correct. There it is. Australia pulling back. Still holding though. Still holding. Australian dollar still holding. New Zealand still holding. Peso had a nice little pop, but pulled back dramatically. And the dollar is starting to strengthen against the yuan. And we had this in place. Okay, so we expected this as well. And the index, the euro index in of itself, it's still fine. It's still intact. But if it comes much lower, it starts breaking down this trend line, then you want to get out. Let it give you another setup. Okay, so it's got to hold. 10-year, still holding. Structure above a structure above a structure above a structure. But it's still a cup and handle. So we'll see if that goes through. All right, Royal Caribbean back down. You know, if you're one of those catch up people, bullish, whatever, you want to buy it somewhere around 65.80. Um, Norwegian, it's broken down. There's nothing really to buy for a while. Okay, it's got a long way to go down. Carnival breaking down, same thing, long way down. Apple, okay, barely holding on to their structure. Amazon, still structure above a structure. It's okay for now. Microsoft, structure above a structure. Facebook, and not looking so good. Netflix is starting to roll over within that structure. Google continues lower. Again, if you're one of those catch-up people, this is a good time to buy. If it falls much below this, you stop out. Okay, so give it some room to make sure it can close this gap. Okay, um, so Nvidia is starting to break down. Tesla, Tesla is right back down. All right. All right, so 956. Let's see what the market is doing. There you go. Starting to break the structure, right? Right at the point of control. Everything as we expected. Everything as we expected. So now this structure needs to break completely. All right. We need to see this one go. At least test the previous low and then go from there. All right. Everything is red. So financials are barely trying to hold on, and that's because of the news on Friday. And then the worst sector hit is energy for now. Japan is also being hit in Asia. I don't know why Korea it didn't show. Anyway, it doesn't matter. U.S. down 1%. So let's see how these go. Let's look at the market internals real quick, even though it's still a little bit early. Just kind of get a feel. Financials leading, consumer discretionary, technology. Eh, not bad. Last 5 days. Financials, information technology, and materials, lagging, energy, communication. Not bad. All right, there it goes. Bye-bye. 10 o'clock. Now remember, you always get that 10:30 reversal thingy, right? So if it takes us a half an hour to get down here, look for another move up. Hello, Alessandro. How are you, my friend? Sorry I didn't have my chat pop up. I usually don't when I do these overall readings. It's up now. So anybody has any questions, please type away. Okay. All right. So there it goes. This is classic, right? Bear flag. This is the S&P. Now remember from last week, right? We said that the point of control. Let me fix it here. Somewhere down here. Hold on. Where is the little thingy? All right, that's the high right there. And then, so for this move, point of control is up here at 3,700. From the low, the previous low, point of control is still up there. And from the previous high, right where it's at right now. All right, let's wait for it to break down. By the way, today is the first day of trading for Tesla in the S&P 500, and it's down 5%. Oh boy. Consumer confidence in the Eurozone down 13, minus 13.9%. Back in April, it was as low as 22. There it goes. Bull buy. Bull buy. This is like free money. This when it's volatile like this, and you know that the follow throughs are going to be substantial, and it creates nice little structures like this. Is free money. Free money. Free. You don't even have to think about it. You know. Let's take a look at the VIX. Now remember, the more the VIX expands, the more likely that it is that you're going to have those 2% down days, right? And 2% are the extreme normal. And it goes both ways. It can be 2% up or down, but usually it's down. So the VIX is up to 28 now, pushing back up. And the Nasdaq is down 1.67. The S&P is down 2%. All right. Look at that. Beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful little structure. It's very simple. You have enough volatility in the market so you can give you that nice, quick profit without waiting, right? All right. There it goes. So we're going to come test this area down here now. Let's see how that's going to work. If it's really bad, then what we'll probably get is a 1, 2, 3 down. 1, 2, 3, meaning it decisively breaks the previous low. Alternatively, we can get one of these psych and then back up and then back down. Okay. Then you end up with something like this. But at this point, anything above this trend line, then, you know, you should stop out if you're short. If you took the short in here, right in here, as it started to break down, well, by 130, you're going to be about break even if it starts to break out. Always a good idea to take some profits at the previous low. That's a potential area of reversal or pause. Improve that cost basis. And depending on what your portfolio is, what you want to do, if you improve the cost basis from this move, well, that's going to bring your break even somewhere up here, right? So it's a free trade. It's that simple. It's a very free trade. Small caps. Yeah, see, break, test, go. So it breaks, comes back, it tests the underneath of the structure, and then starts to fail again. There you go. Even Dow Jones is correcting from that structure. China's still holding. I'm surprised. I'm surprised it's still holding. Being a little bitchy. Now for Brazil, remember we had this structure, right? We had the 1, 2, 3 up, then it broke down, then we did a structure below a structure, and now that's breaking. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for Brazil. Surprisingly, the dollar still weak. I would have thought it would have broke out of the structure by now. So you got interest rates up, you got the dollar still weak, and the market is pulling back, and the VIX is rising. That's interesting. Oil's still holding. That's interesting. Hmm. So this is what I mean when from failed moves comes fast moves right in here, right? Came back into structure, rapidly came down, broke the bottom. You break the top, break the bottom. Now it's back in the middle. So this is a range expansion at this point. Okay, this is a range expansion. Still in a rising F flag. All right, 10:10. We still have some time till the 10:30 reversal. Yeah, how you doing, Jacob? Let's look at the Dow. Yeah, Dow's broken down. Yeah. The thing with the Dow now is it's still above the previous high, right? So we'll see. We'll see how much the pullback is going to be because if you think about it, let's say it goes straight down, right? That's going to look a little funky. It's still going to need to go back up and start to fade away. The Nasdaq should come and test this previous, not previous, this bottom support line, which is at 12,449, 12,450. Right? I think that's probably where it's going to come up to, and then it's going to start to consolidate somewhere in here, perhaps give us a nice little bear flag, and then we can take it. Okay, so let's not get too overly bearish, even though the temptation is there because it's going straight down, right? But again, that's there to provoke emotions. So let's see where the point of control is from the bottom here. It's still all the way up there. All right. So right in here, we're going to look for it to bottom, somewhere right in here. And then it'll start to go back up. Depends how fast it does it. It can coincide with a 1030 reversal, so be ready for that. All right. VIX continues to rise, 28.5 now. It got as high as 31.5, still pushing up. So down now below 30,000. New York Stock Exchange continues lower. S&P, I can't see. Testing that wave 2 right down here. All right. So again, we ask ourselves, what's it trying to do? Go lower. How good of a job is it doing? It's doing good until now, right? We could be doing something like this. And if we are, then look for the upside. Because it's not continuing that thrust down move, right? It's trying to stabilize now. I'll just put this here tentatively. There it goes. Incredibly bearish. All right, 1020. We're getting awfully close to that point where we're talking about. Maybe I should mark it so everybody can see it. Right in here is where we expect price to come down and then start to bounce. And we're 10 minutes from the 10:30 reversal, so we're getting there. Nasdaq now down 2% for the day. S&P's down 2.2. Small caps are down 1.6. So, so we have a confluence of things that are telling us what to do, right? You got that 2% down. That's a normal, extreme down move for the day. You got the support line from the structure. I'm talking about this one. Okay. We have the wave 3 down from the bear flag. Right. So you got the 1, you got the 2, now you're getting the 3. It's going to test also the previous low. So that's the fourth thing that is telling us, hey, you're getting to the point where you're going to see a bounce. So that's the message of the market. You got to pay attention to that stuff. It's important. It's important. The fangs are starting to weaken now. So now they're down 1.13. They were flat just a little while ago. There it is. And now it's starting to break. Oh, no, it's not. I thought it was. Sorry. The lines were moving. But anyway, it's at the danger zone where it starts to break the structure, right? So you got the 1, you got the 2, you got the 3. This is now valid. You also have the head and shoulders, right? That's not painting a pretty picture for the Nasdaq. It's not painting a pretty picture for the Nasdaq. Europe is down now 4%, 3.8. And these guys are leading on the way down. UK is down 2.3%. And it's, this is not a valid point, by the way. All right. Denmark now is down 1.2. World stock market index is now 2.6% down. That's pretty ugly. Because remember, the world stock market index is more diversified. So it's very difficult for it to drop so much. There's a lot of selling going on. There's a lot of selling across the board everywhere. Okay. This is the world stock market index minus the US. It's down 3%. Airlines are right back down to 3.77%. Yeah, not looking good. But for right now, in terms of trading, you're getting to that area that we talked about, right? Where we expect it to go. Right down here. You can see it, another little bear flag right in here, right? $10.23. Give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. Okay, so um, there we go. We got a little bit of an expansion here of the structure. All right, and it's 10:30 now, so let's see if this whole structure now is going to start to bottom in, to bottom out right here. Now, from the standpoint that it's a higher low right here, so this is the low for today. This is a higher low so far. Okay, if it starts to go back up, you know, it could be one of those fuckery days. I don't think so, but I'm just saying it is a higher low. Somebody comes out, he says, "Oh, we have a new stimulus plan in this place." You know, the same shit. Oh, we got another vaccine today. Yes, we're gonna have the third one, and then it's Johnson and Johnson this time. The market is a forward-looking indicator. It didn't forward look that we're gonna have a new strand. Stupid. We've been talking about the possible mutation with every infection for since the beginning with subscribers, and there it is. I still believe the market is just completely fucking oblivious to what's going on. I do. They're they're in la la land. They just sit there and look at the screens and they're saying, "Oh, look, the savings rate is up. Oh, look at them too. Yeah, this is sufficient money. Yeah, this is good inflation." And they just have no clue what's going on with small businesses, with the unemployed, with the virus. Uh, it's just amazing. Amazing how oblivious they are. So anyway, at this point, we got to take off this 5% possible move to the upside. We'll suspend it for now. Okay, we'll suspend that because it's back below structure, and I said it's got to hold that previous high. It's got to hold it. It's got to hold it. Didn't do it. No, did not do it. We'll leave it up there in case it does, start to recuperate. We've seen stupider things, right? Thanks God. Yeah. In India, they say thanks gods with a plural. They have many of them. Now it's only down about 2% from all-time highs. So this is not even like it's not even a drop in the bucket if you think about it. You know, it's nothing, nothing. It's 2%, garbage. This is like a normal pullback. Normal pullback. Now remember, for the week, with volatility as high as it is, for the week we can be down as much as 7%. Okay, that would be a normal extreme with volatility as high as it is. So just kind of bear that in mind. So we're down now, let's say 2%. We can go down another 5%, right, to hit the extreme normal. A normal pullback week is about 5%. So we go down another 3%. Uh, and we got Christmas coming up in what, 4 days? My birthday in 2 days. Since I've been a child, I get like shoes for my birthday and like shoelaces for Christmas. I've gotten gypped, man. Yeah, then the virus effect. Yeah, what they did know that a mutation could take place. The market was not that forward looking, really. Huh? That's fucking interesting. Wow. So the market is not all powerful, all knowing. It didn't factor that in. It didn't price it in. Again, markets are forward looking, provided that there's no QE, there's no excessive stimulus. Yes, in that case they are. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that. But not this fuckery, right? Endless lending facilities and QEs, and not the QEs of 2008. We're not talking about those kind. These are completely different QEs than then. All right, continuing to push lower, testing that previous low. Let's zoom out a little bit. I think the line moved again. Painting my balls. Let's give it the benefit of the doubt and put it there. Take all the stuff off. Okay, so it's got some room to the downside for sure. Nasdaq down 2.06 for the day. Small caps are actually doing a lot better than the Nasdaq. It's only down 1%. S&P is down 2.1%. Let's take a look at that S&P. Dow Jones is also down to 1%. So S&P now is forming this bear flag. Okay. Dow Jones, funky looking. New York Stock Exchange, funky looking. VIX 28 starting to pull back a little bit. Again, it's that 1030 kind of reversal thing going, right? Small caps, big bounce, right? And it tested, it started to fail. It still hasn't failed. So let's fix this a little bit. Very strange kind of pattern, right? Anyway, we're going to mark that as a bear flag as well. All right, so the next move down is going to be something thrusty. Uh, I take profits. It'll look something like this. All right, there we go. Again, this is a bullish structure, right? Keeps building, building, pointing to the downside. There's an up move coming. We're going to see how much is going to bounce, but it's going to come. It's going to come. Again, we got a little bit lower, but we still didn't at least tag the previous low. Okay, so you still have that higher low. It's still there. It's still there. Google and the FANGs are still down 1.14%. S&P is down 2. Dow Jones and small caps are down 1. S&P and Nasdaq down 2%. Let's see what the dollar is doing. Nothing. Nothing. How about the 10-year? All right. It's trying again. Let's see if it can break that, at least test the previous low. Let me move this up just a little bit so we can see where it is. All right. And what's funny about this whole, measuring it from the top is that 70% of all trades went off right in here. So we're still within the 70% range. Still in it. So, if you assume that we're going to go outside of the 70% range, well, it's got to go a lot further down, right? And another little clue, okay? Now, you don't know if it's going to happen now. It might happen towards the end of the day, but just something to be aware of. There it goes, finally. There you go. Now I'm happy. Because I don't like those lower highs. Lower highs, it's a bullish, scenario. So you want to eliminate anything that's bullish. You want to be sure that, you know, everything is firing at the uh, on all cylinders. There's no question. These are the best kind of trades. But we are now at support. We're going to, probably start to bounce here. All right. If we don't, it's going to get ugly. I need a lot more coffee. When you don't work, you stay up late. Watch all kinds of movies. Binge watching. All right. Well, we didn't get a bounce so far from the 1030 reversal. We got a slowdown, right? We got a slowdown with a grind lower. And that's okay. That's equally as good. You're either going to bounce or you're going to grind lower and pause, right? That's what happens at previous lows. And how many times did we say, one day you're going to wake up and the thing is going to be straight down and you're not going to know why, right? There it is. Well, we kind of know why, but what, they didn't know that there was a virus problem Friday, you know? And as James was saying, it's so hard to believe that this 70% strain is not all over the world, right? It's just that the UK and I think the Netherlands or somebody, they were very, very meticulous about, checking all the viruses, decoding them and whatever. And that's how they found it. Yeah, but by the time you find it, my friend, forget it. It's all over the world. Even in New York, we still haven't closed down the UK. You can still fly. You can still fly. It's the same thing back when China. Oh, we shut down China. Really? How come fucking China Eastern Airlines is landing in Kennedy? How come you can go to Istanbul and then you can fly to New York from there and be like, oh, you're coming from Istanbul when you're really coming from China? Bullshit. It's all bullshit. Imagine having a president that just does nothing. Absolutely nothing. He's sitting here looking for fake ballots. The world is fucking in a humanitarian crisis. Hospitals are fucking being overrun, and he's like, "Oh, I'm looking for ballots." Fuck me. How could that happen in the 21st century? It's mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. Oh, can we put the National Guard and hold the elections again? What the fuck? Insanity. Insanity. I guess the good news is that at least the vaccine is said to be effective, even with the mutation. So that's good. Because I guess what it does is it takes a part of the RNA, and then even if it changes, it doesn't matter because it only needs a part of the virus to recognize that there is a virus. And then the body, kind of triggers it and says, "Ah, okay, got it," and knows how to fight it. So that's good. Now, in terms of air travel, which is bad in my view, this is the third day in a row that we had more than 1 million passengers traveling in the U.S. Now, normally that would be good, right? But going into the holiday season with all this nonsense going on, that's not very good. That's actually very bad. You don't want people to be traveling and spreading shit all over the place, right? So that's not good at all. Not good at all. All right, so we're inside of that circle that I drawn. So at any point now, anywhere between here and a little bit lower, this thing can bounce. We definitely have the smaller structure in place, which is this falling F flag that will correct at some point. So, yep, it's not a reversal. It doesn't mean we're going to go to all-time new highs or whatever. It just means that going towards the lunchtime period, the selling will probably subside a little bit. There'll be some kind of a correction. And then we'll come back towards the end of the day and see how it performs then. Uh, it's still down 2% for the day. We've seen it so many times where it's gone more than that, right? We've seen it go as much as 2.7, 2.8, 2.6, and then it kind of bounces from there. We've seen it at 3 or 2, I think, a couple times. And then it bounces from there, and then it closes like 2% down for the day. And then after hours, it starts to fall again, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so there is still room for the downside. But again, we're getting into that area where anything between here and lower generally is a buy opportunity for scalpers. I'm not saying for you to go ahead and buy. I'm just saying for scalpers. See, there's two types of people. There's a type of person that's going to wait for this to happen and now short. And then there's the other type of person, as soon as it starts going down, oh, I want to start buying. And then when it's going up, oh, now I want to short. And it's crazy. It's crazy how the human mind, works. All right. There it goes. Starting to break out of the structure. Denmark. Yes. Sorry, I wasn't looking. Yeah, Denmark. Okay, good. Yeah. They found the mink mutation and quickly, yeah. But it's not a form of the mink mutation. This is different. The mink mutation is different. I guess there's been 15 mutations, and this particular mutation is the one that's worse. Um, at least that's my understanding. This is the one that really matters. The other ones that didn't matter so much. But yeah, there was a mink outbreak. Absolutely. Yep. Thanks. All right. 11 o'clock, going back up. This is exactly what we expected. Okay, so that's okay. Let's see now, how it's going to start to form in here. All right, is it going to start doing something like this, and then more downside, or not? I'm not sure how it's going to work out. Can't tell you that, but um, you know. Now, from a pure counting perspective, the actual count, the way that the bottom line is drawn is not correct. Okay, the way it should be counted is like this. All right, and this is the proper way. So you take the lowest, one, two, three. Oops, sorry, three. Okay, right there. So now the structure is defined. Okay, then we had this area right in here we didn't touch, and I said, oh, pay attention to this. This is a subtlety, but it's a weakness. And then guess what? Boom, right? Fell apart. Fair enough. Then we went into this big rising wedgie looking pattern. Then we went a structure below a structure, way, way, way far away from this upper trend line. So you got a big ass fucking gap in here, right? And then this failed. And it failed with an M pattern, okay? Failed with an M pattern. There it is. You got this one is a higher low, by the way. I'm sorry, a lower high. So then you got the big drop. Fair enough. Okay. So now you go back and you look at the structures, okay? You look at the structures, and what happens is every time you make that new high, you get that sell off, right? Sell off. And we talked about this before. Sell off again. You got another sell off back here. Let me see if I can zoom out, right? So you got sell off, sell off, sell off, and sell off. All right. So let's see now, what it wants to do. Again, this big structure here needs to correct to the downside. Now, I haven't drawn this, so let me do it right now real quick. Let's go to the daily. So this is a 63-day moving average, which is a quarter. All right, and the quarter is here. So let me fix this. Okay, so the first area, if it starts to break down, just from this analysis alone, is another about 4% from here. Okay. total for 6-7%, and that gets us to that weekly, 5 to 7% pullback, right? And that makes a lot of sense to us. So from that perspective, okay, that's good enough. Uh, the structure obviously starts to break, depending how fast it does it. It's not what I want. Okay, if it slows down and does it kind of like this, then this would become the area of a potential bounce. All right, and that would take us, say, right about there, about 2.5. And again, it gets us to that 5% that the weekly uh, moves are. All right, S&P 500 back into structure. The problem with the S&P 500 is that it's got this bigger structure now that it could break. Okay, that it could break. So let's put this one back on again. So something. So it could be just like a false kind of break kind of deal. All right, where it breaks here and then starts to bounce. That's also possible. It's still in a bear flag, so that doesn't bode well for the rest of the day, because now what's going to happen probably, we're going to just kind of linger here like this for a while, and then see that next drop, right? Yeah, see how it's correcting out of this structure? We've been waiting for that, right? Pointing down does the opposite. Fucks with everybody's mind. Fucks with everybody's mind. Point of control is somewhere up here. So this is a good area, a likely area to predict it's going to go. It's about 12,600. All right. All right. So that's about it. Um, I'll log off for now. I'll come back later towards the end of the day. If something funky happens and I'm awake, most importantly, then I'll come back. All right. Uh, Airlines, forget about it. They look like shit. China is still trying to hold. All right. The fangs of China barely holding. Right. India is falling. Japan is falling. VIX is coming back down a little bit. That's okay. New York Stock Exchange bouncing a little bit. Dow Jones bouncing a little bit. Dollar still falling. Still falling. That's interesting. I don't expect that to last if we're going to go lower, right? The pound is bouncing now a little bit. Dollar still holding up against this trend line, against the yuan. And that's about it. Let me see here. Spirit is down 4.56%. It's just collapsing. And again, these are the industries that are supposed to push everything higher, right? The catch-up plays, the airlines. SkyWest is down 4.76%. EasyJet is down 6.84%, which I think is relatively good considering, right? Copa Airlines continues to roll over. China Eastern Airlines is below the structure, so that's done. Turkish Airlines is down 5.7%. Anything else that sticks out? Oh, Tata Motors down 8%. We talked about this one. Well, not live, but anyway, for my subscribers, we talked about this. This had to correct. Travel Zoo down 4.5%, and China Southern Airlines is down 4.4%. Yeah, that's about it. Currencies, commodities, emerging markets, dollar. Yeah, that's about it. Anyway, all right, guys. Welcome back later. We'll continue this. I think around maybe around 2. Depends. All right. Take care. Thank you for joining. Please don't forget to come down patreon.com/RealMacro. Subscribe. Also like the video. I would appreciate that. All right. Take care, guys. Bye bye.